The story of the deer is a living embodiment of grace, moving softly through forests as if the earth bends to welcome its presence. Deer carries an elegance in every step, its slender legs lifting and falling with rhythm that makes the forest seem alive. When deer walks, the silence is not emptiness but music, each sound of its hooves a gentle heartbeat of nature. Deer has always been a reminder that beauty can live quietly. And that strength is not always loud or destructive. And soft and enduring. Deer survives because of awareness, with eyes wide and alert, ears turning at the faintest rustle of leaves. And nostrils quivering at the scent of danger. Deer never allows itself to be careless, for it lives in a world where predators lurk in every shadow. The gift of deer is vigilance, the ability to sense danger before it strikes. And to escape not by fighting but by anticipating. Deer shows us that wisdom is not in waiting to be attacked, but in knowing when to move before harm arrives. Deer runs with astonishing speed, its slender body stretching into leaps that look more like flight than running. Deer's legs are built for survival, carrying it across fields and through forests faster than many predators can chase. When deer runs, it is not only escaping death, but also embracing life, each bound a declaration of freedom, each stride proof of resilience. Deer reminds us that sometimes the most powerful strength is not in standing and fighting, but in choosing life by moving beyond danger. Deer wears a crown not made by humans but by nature itself, antlers. Deer grows these magnificent antlers each year, shedding them and regrowing them stronger, a cycle of renewal that symbolizes rebirth. The antlers of deer are weapons in battle and ornaments of beauty, a paradox that shows strength can be graceful and elegance can be fierce. Deer teaches us that what we lose can grow again. And often, it returns even greater. Deer fights when it must, especially during mating season. When male deer lock antlers in duels that echo across the plains. These battles are not cruel but honorable, a test of stamina, patience, and resilience. Deer does not fight to destroy but to prove, to win the right to lead, to ensure the survival of its bloodline. Deer's fights are not about hatred, they are about destiny. And when deer finishes, the victor does not kill, but simply walks away, leaving the defeated with dignity intact. Deer is prey, hunted by lions, tigers, leopards, wolves, and humans, yet deer continues to flourish across continents. Being hunted has not broken deer, but shaped it into one of the most adaptable and enduring creatures in the wild. Deer shows that being vulnerable does not mean weak, and that survival belongs to those who adapt and endure. Deer thrives despite danger, proving that fragility can coexist with strength. Deer mothers carry gentleness like no other, protecting their calves with silent courage. A newborn deer lies hidden in tall grass, its spotted coat blending with the shadows, its small body still and quiet, waiting for safety. Yet within days, the young deer learns to stand, to run, to follow the herd. This resilience is written into the heart of deer, a lesson that even innocence is born with strength. Deer herds move like rivers of life across meadows, every head lifting and lowering in unison, every ear twitching to the same rhythm. Deer finds safety in numbers, teaching us that unity can be protection, that community can be survival. A single deer may fall, but the herd endures, carrying on the legacy of life. Deer reminds us that survival is not always about the individual, but about standing together. Deer eats with gentleness, grazing on grass, nibbling leaves, stripping bark. Deer does not ravage or destroy but balances the forest with its feeding. Deer shapes ecosystems without violence, proving that harmony can sustain life as powerfully as aggression. The presence of deer keeps nature balanced, making it not just a survivor, but a caretaker of the wild. Deer symbolizes purity in many cultures, often seen as a messenger between earth and spirit, a creature of innocence, love, and beauty. Ancient stories tell of deer guiding lost travelers, of deer appearing in dreams as symbols of peace, of deer carrying messages from gods. In every culture, deer is more than an animal. Deer is a story, a symbol, a reminder that gentleness is not weakness but power in its own right. Deer adapts to environments across the globe, forests, grasslands, mountains, deserts, even near human cities. Deer survives wherever it goes, finding food, finding safety, finding a way to live. Deer teaches us that adaptability is survival, that the ability to bend is what allows us not to break. Deer thrives because it changes. Because it adjusts. Because it does not cling to one way of life. Deer is fragile in winter. When snow covers grass and cold winds strip away food. Yet deer endures, searching tirelessly, pushing through hunger, waiting patiently for spring. Deer shows that even the harshest seasons are temporary. And that survival belongs to those who endure patiently, never giving up, never stopping, always believing that warmth will return. Deer's eyes hold a softness that has captured human imagination for centuries. Looking into the eyes of deer is like looking into innocence itself. But behind that innocence is caution and wisdom. Deer's eyes remind us that gentleness and awareness can coexist, that it is possible to be kind yet vigilant, soft yet strong. Deer teaches us to live with open eyes and open hearts. Deer is hunted by humans more than any predator. Sometimes deer is hunted for food, sometimes for trophies, sometimes for sport. And yet, even as humans take, deer gives, sustaining life, teaching lessons, inspiring art. Deer has endured alongside humanity since the beginning, painted on cave walls, carved into myths, sung in poetry. Deer has become eternal because it has lived in both nature and imagination. Deer can defend itself when cornered, its sharp hooves striking out with power that can wound even fierce predators. Deer prefers to run, to escape, to survive. But when forced, deer shows it is not helpless. Deer's kick is as powerful as its run, a reminder that peace does not mean weakness. And that gentleness can still strike when threatened. Deer's coat changes with seasons, lighter in summer, thicker and darker in winter, adapting to weather, to camouflage, to survival. Deer wears the clothing of the earth, changing with it, living in harmony with the cycles of time. Deer is a living reflection of nature's rhythm, reminding us that life itself is about change. Deer has always been part of human legends. In Celtic tales, deer is a guide to the other world. In Buddhism, deer symbolizes peace and wisdom. In native traditions, deer is a messenger of kindness and intuition. Deer transcends being just an animal. Deer becomes a spiritual presence, a timeless reminder of qualities humans aspire to. Deer is fragile. And sometimes fear defines it. The wide eyes of deer show vulnerability, the constant tension of living as prey. Yet this fear is what has kept deer alive for centuries. Deer proves that fear is not always weakness, as fear can be awareness, fear can be survival, fear can be the reason you endure when others fall. Deer's beauty lies not only in its body but in its movement. Watching deer leap across a meadow is like watching freedom itself, an elegance that cannot be captured, only admired. Deer turns running into poetry, leaps into art, life into grace. Deer antlers are not just weapons, they are symbols of growth, renewal, and pride. Each year, deer sheds and regrows them, stronger, larger, more impressive. Antlers remind us that even when we lose, we can rebuild. And what grows back can be greater than what was lost. Deer's antlers are a crown of resilience. Deer represents innocence. But deer is not naive. Deer knows danger, lives with danger, runs from danger daily. Yet deer still moves with calmness, still grazes with peace, still plays in meadows. Deer proves that innocence can survive even in a world filled with predators. Deer mothers teach care, standing over their calves, nursing them, protecting them with silent vigilance. Deer mothers show that love in the wild is fierce, that protection can be quiet but unshakable. A mother deer will risk its life for its calf, proving that love is survival. Deer calves carry spots that camouflage them in grass and shadows, a natural cloak of safety. As they grow, the spots fade. But the lesson remains: even the smallest, even the weakest, can find protection in the wisdom of nature's design. Deer is admired not only by humans but by other animals who share its world. Herds of deer graze near birds, near smaller creatures, moving together in harmony. Deer is part of the greater balance, proving that coexistence is possible. Deer reminds humans of humility, for when we look at deer, we see an animal that asks nothing but to live. Deer does not demand, does not destroy, does not dominate, it simply exists in peace, leaving behind hoofprints that fade quickly, never scarring the earth. Deer is strength wrapped in fragility, courage wrapped in fear, beauty wrapped in simplicity. Deer embodies contradictions, yet those contradictions create harmony. Deer is a mirror of life itself. Deer is patient in its survival, never rushing, never careless. It waits, listens, grazes, and moves with caution. Deer teaches us that sometimes patience itself is the greatest strength. Deer leaves its mark in silence, hoofprints in soil, whispers in grass, shadows at sunset. The mark of deer is not destruction, but presence. Deer reminds us that our marks too should be gentle. Deer has been hunted, chased, cornered, yet it survives across centuries, across continents. Deer is a survivor of both nature and humanity, a creature whose story will never fade. Deer inspires poets, painters, storytellers, dreamers. Deer's beauty becomes words, colors, and images, reminding humanity of the quiet magic of the natural world. Deer represents not only innocence but transformation. Every season, every year, deer changes, grows, renews, survives. Deer is the rhythm of life made flesh. Deer is not eternal, but deer's story is. Each generation carries the same grace, the same strength, the same quiet wisdom, ensuring that deer will always endure. Deer remains one of nature's most extraordinary wonders, a creature of elegance, vigilance, and resilience. Deer's story is not just about survival, but about the balance between fragility and power, gentleness and courage, beauty and endurance.